Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I am so ready to talk to you about favorite summer makeup items that I am going to be pulling out this summer. If you guys have favorite summer makeup, make sure and share it down in the comments. It's always fun just to chat about seasonal fun things that we're pulling out of our collections. I've been doing this for every season and I do try to limit myself to 5 blushes and 5 lip products. For these videos, I think I have 6 of each this time. I couldn't narrow it down. Shall we start with blushes? Let's start with the one that I'm wearing. So out of all the blushes that I picked for this video, this one is probably the most pink one. And this is from Honest Beauty, which you guys know that I love the Honest Beauty formula. But this isn't a shade I mention that often. This is the shade Peony Pink. You can see I managed to get just a little light wash of color with this one today, but let me tell you, these Honest Beauty blushes are very pigmented. I barely tapped my finger in there and it managed to blend out all over my whole cheek. This one can easily pack a punch. So this color of pink, I actually put it in with my corals. To me, it's more coral leaning than pink. If you've never tried the Honest Beauty blush before, it is a little bit of a, I don't really want to say sticky. A little bit more stiff. You need to warm it up a little bit with your fingers. And applying it, it may feel like it's going to be sticky, but it dries down. My face does not feel tacky, and it's not going to move all over, and it's going to wear a long time. And this is my favorite type of formula, and the fact that it really thins out on your cheeks. You don't look like you have a layer of blush sitting there. Also, I've applied it with a brush, with a sponge, and with my fingers. It looks beautiful every time. However you prefer to apply it, it's going to look beautiful. It comes in this nice tin, heavy packaging. It does have a mirror. These are a little bit more of a high price point for the drugstore. You can get them at Target. I think they're $20 a piece now, but these have lasted me for years. This is one of the newer ones that I picked up. My favorite shade, Rose Pink, I have had for I think 4 years now, or maybe even 5 years. And it's still going strong. Let's stick with coral blushes here for a minute. So I know I'm gonna be reaching for this one this year. This was sent to me by Influencer. This is from Pat McGrath Labs. This is what she calls the Legendary Glow Color Balm. I always have to read it and it's the tiniest print. Whew. But this is the shade Paradise Peony. And this is a very balmy, dewy blush. If you're into the glow in the summertime, ooh, this will do it for you. You can easily build it up to the color that I have there in the back of my hand, or you can make it very sheer. These are not gonna have as much wear time as, say, the Honest Beauty ones, just because they are so balmy, but there is something to be said for that very dewy, glowy, fresh cheek look. When you have something like this, you don't really need a highlighter. Your skin is just shining. Which I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but in the summer I think it can look so pretty. And I like this color too because it's not too coral leaning. Sometimes if something is too coral, I don't think is necessarily flattering on me, but this one I can pull off. I can't remember if this is the 2nd or the 3rd year that I have done a video about summer blushes, but I usually always talk about the Milani Cream blushes. I recently gave away my Milani single blush. I think the shade was something coral. Of course, now I can't remember the shade of it. And I would still recommend that. I love the Milani Cream blushes. Only reason I gave that one away is because I have another coral shade in this cream blush palette from Milani. This is more of a sheer formula in comparison to the one in the single compact. This is another very balmy, easy to blend out formula. I would say it's not as balmy as the Pat McGrath one. Like you can kind of see, I'm just sitting in front of the window. You can see the shine the window is putting on that one. This one still has a bit of shine, but not like that one. And if, like me, coral can make you a little nervous, like you're just not sure, you just want to use just a little bit, this is nice because it's not super pigmented. You can just use a little bit and that blends out super, super well. This one wears well for me. Like I haven't really noticed it leaving my cheeks immediately like some blushes will do, but I still don't think it will wear as long as the Honest Beauty one. Okay, let's leave coral behind and talk about peach. Ooh, in the summer, I want to wear real peach blush. I feel like in the spring, I wear peach, but more of like a soft, toned down peach. In the summer, I want the full-on, bam, peach. And that's when I pull out this blush from Fenty. Oh my goodness, a whole bunch of cat hair. Don't mind that. So this shade is the shade Peach Face, and this used to be limited edition, and then they brought it out into the collection. So look at that shade. Holy smokeroni. brownies. It looks flat out orange, but it does sheer out well. I feel like I can still pull this off. So this particular shade does have a bit of shimmer in it. And I'm gonna give you a heavier swatch than I would actually wear, but you can see in comparison to these are definitely pinky coral. This one's orangey peach. This one will dry down matte, even though it's got a little bit of shimmer in it. It's not gonna make your face feel sticky or balmy. And I find it wears very well. That bright orangey peach with the shimmer in it is just so unique in my collection. This is one of the first blushes I think of when I think of a summer blush. And I know it can be intimidating, I know, but let me tell you, there's something about orange, of course, depending on your skin tone, undertone, somehow it can be pulled off. I don't know how, but it can. Speaking of orange blush, ooh, have I been loving this. So this is from Etude House. This is their Dear Darling Water Tint. It's similar to the tints from Benefit, but this is their Orangeade shade, and it's a complete liquid. It has a little doe foot. Smells just like popsicles, an orange popsicle, and you'll see how it's just like a complete orange liquid tint. And I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit so you can see how if you keep blending it out, it actually becomes quite sheer. There, that's not nearly as scary looking. And even though it starts off as that very liquidy liquid, it completely dries down. And it actually dries down fairly quickly to just a stain. If you don't really want to spend the money on the Benefit ones, but you're interested in something like it, I think it's great. It's super fun. I have the red one as well, another really fun summer color. If you're not into a balmy blush, because maybe where you live it's very hot and makeup just tends to melt, maybe you have more oily skin, a tint like this may be the way to go, just because it dries down so fast and then it stays. It's there. But I really don't want to make it sound intimidating because it really isn't. It shears out so nicely. And even though it is a tint, it does wash off. Okay, one more blush. I couldn't resist mentioning this blush. This is more in like a true peach category versus orange. So the Glossier Cloud Paints, these have been out for forever, but I'm starting to see them talked about a little bit more again, and I'm so glad because every time I wear this, I love my makeup. This is the shade Beam, and of course I managed to get way too much. Like I usually do with the Glossier blush. A little bit goes a long way, but they blend out again so beautifully. You definitely can get a really pretty like watercolor-esque look with the Glossier blushes. They give you a lot of time to blend them out, but they do set down. This is one that I feel like does want to disappear a little bit into my skin, and then I just add a little bit more. I don't find them to be dewy. It dries down matte for me, and you can get a really soft, pretty, youthful look with a blush like that. So those are the blushes I'm gonna be reaching for so much this summer. I actually had it in a bunch of other neutral ones. I'm to share in this video as well, but I was trying to keep it down to just 6, and I decided if I wanted to do neutral blushes, I could just do a whole nother video about neutral blushes that I wear in the summer. I have a lot of neutral blushes, and I kind of have them separated out by like peachy neutrals, pinky neutrals, and like roasty bricky neutrals, so that's a whole nother video, and I decided to just keep it with the colors this time. Let's move on to lip products. So starting with the product that is on my lips, this is one of the Fat Lip Oils from NYX. This is the shade Mist Call. I don't know if I would necessarily call it a lip oil. I think a lot of things get called lip oils just because lip oils are popular, but I don't know. To me, it's just a very nice, juicy gloss. It has a lovely big doe foot on it that is truly squishy. I have used doe foots that are nice and big like this before. They were actually kind of hard and they weren't nice and squishy. This one has a nice doe foot. And you can see just from me wearing it, it has a beautiful gloss. And I don't know about you, but when it comes to summer lip products, the glossier the better. I feel like that pretty much all year long, but especially in the summer. So there's the swatch on my hand. You can also see it on my lips. I have a little bit of like a neutral brown lip liner on. The smell is kind of candy-ish, but not too intense. It comes in a lot of colors, and I love a color like this in the summer. So this lip product from Fenty was another product that was released with this Fenty blush, and they really match each other. So this is one of the Creme glosses from Fenty, and this is the shade Peach Pout. If you've never tried the Creme ones from Fenty, they actually have a lot of pigment to them, and it has more of a sweet scent versus the fruity scent of the other ones. This gloss is definitely kind of thick. It's gonna fill in all the lines in your lips. Sometimes I find this gloss can be a little bit too much. I have to be careful not to apply basically the whole doe foot worth. Is just too much for me. But if I manage to keep it back, it is a super fun color. And it's probably gonna be one of those that I keep out all summer long to remind myself to use it, because pretty much the only time I wear it is in the summer. You know how weirdly orangey, peachy blush can work out? It's the same with orange gloss. I think the favorite orange gloss I've ever tried is the one from Tower 28, but I'm also really enjoying this one right now. So this is called This is Juice Gloss, and this is in the scent and shade Guava Snap. So it does have a guava scent, and this one is mostly sheer, but it does have the slightest pale orange tint, which, you know, it doesn't go with every makeup look. There on the back of my hand, it just looks clear, but it does have enough of an orange tint that I do take it into account when matching it with the rest of my makeup. It looks really, really nice if you're wearing any sort of a peachy blush. For some reason, this particular gloss can sometimes give my lips a little bit of a numbing sensation when I first put it on. It goes away, and I haven't experienced any irritation so far, but I have just a thing for orange tinted glosses in the summer. I know I'm gonna be reaching for this so much. Something else I adore in the summer is a true red gloss. And again, I love the ones from Tower 28, but I have been testing this one from Covergirl. So this is the Yummy Gloss, and I specifically picked up the shade number 350, You're Just Jelly, because it looked like a beautiful sheer red, which at the moment, I hadn't had a sheer red in my collection for a while. This is another one that has a big, beautiful, juicy doe foot. It has a very sweet, candy-esque smell. I actually wish this one was a little bit more red. Here, it just looks kind of pink. But I like this one. It is a juicy gloss, kind of more on the thick side, not as thick as the Fenty, but it definitely makes your lips very, very glossy indeed. If you have a favorite red gloss, make sure and let me know down in the comments. Here's a classic product from NYX. I have a few NYX lip products in this video. This is the Butter Gloss in the shade Sorbet. This is another one of those products I don't really reach for unless it's summer, so I make sure and pull this out a lot in the summertime. If you've never tried a NYX Butter Gloss, they're very comfortable. They have a lot of pigment to them, and as someone with sensitive lips, I can tell you this is one of those products that has never given me any problems. And you get a ton of product in these. I've never finished one of these before, but it has 8 milliliters of product, which is a lot. And I do kind of crave these corally lip shades in the summertime. And I have one more coral shade to share with you, and this is definitely a treat yourself item, but this is from YSL. Look at that beautiful packaging. I probably mentioned this last year. This is one of my favorite products to reach for in the summertime. But this is the Rouge Volupte Shine in the shade Rose Dentelle. I think it's 153, but it has stunning packaging. It has a fruity scent, and this type of glossy lipstick is very much a thing nowadays. People love them, and I feel like every brand is coming out with these, but these have been out for a long time, and they have quite a bit more pigment than some of the more sheer products that are out right now. The component does feel nice and heavy, like it feels expensive. You know, sometimes a girl just likes to have a pretty lipstick. I have yet to try the YSL, is it called the Candy Glaze or something? They came out with a different version of this that people are going wild over. If you've tried both versions, like, what do you think? Anyway, I admit it's not a shade I reach for all year long, but in the summertime, it just hits the spot. So here, after talking for a while about these lip products, I wanted to show you the blushes and how these liquids have completely dried down. This was the Glossier, this was the Etude House. If you're worried about liquid blushes being too dewy, just know that these definitely dry down with no sort of a shine. All these creams are still a little bit dewy, but that's because I did apply very heavy swatches of them. When they blend out, they're not necessarily gonna stay sticky. The only one that I would caution that might remain kind of balmy is the one from Pat McGrath. So I know I didn't mention any powder blushes in this video, but I have a whole bunch of powder blushes right next to me from Milani that I'm prepping to do a whole cheek swatching video with these blushes. Our garage is below where I film, and my husband is down there building something. So if you hear hammering, that's what that is. Anyway, some of these powder blushes look like amazing candidates for summer blushes. So, you know, just be prepared for that video. That's coming up soon. You have made it to the end of the video, which is where I talk about my tea of the day. Today was one of those days where we had a lot to do early this morning. So I feel like I've done a lot already today, and I just needed the comfort of a matcha latte. Lately, I've been wanting to make my matchas lavender. And I know you can just buy lavender syrup. I don't really want to do that though. I know Starbucks makes their, sorry about the pounding. I know that Starbucks uses like a lavender powder. I need to like experiment and see if I can find something like that. If you have a favorite lavender powder, let me know what it is and where I can buy it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you. I hope you're having a good summer so far. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.